meteorologist Allison Rogers here with an update as to what we can expect for the rest of this afternoon. Now we are starting to see a cluster of rain and thunderstorms moving into greater Cincinnati. This is generally moving in from the west and southwest at the moment, and currently nothing meeting severe weather criteria. So all sub-severe storms that are rolling through here right now, even just some lighter rainfall moving through the Cincinnati metro. So a quick little radar tour around town. Now we do still, even though these storms are sub-severe, have the potential for one or two of these to tap into enough energy that we wind up seeing them becoming strong enough that they do become severe. But at the moment, that is not the case for us. Though we do still have some heavy rainfall coming down for just south of Versailles, thunder and lightning there as well. In addition to that, areas of southeastern Indiana right along 27 seeing some heavier rain rolling through there right now. Currently seeing that heavy rainfall south of Versailles approaching 50. That's going to make its way closer to Dillsboro, Sparta, and Manchester, Milan, all seeing some heavier rain with thunder and lightning embedded within some of those storms. In addition to that, we have some heavy rain approaching the west side right now, just outside of Cleves and just outside of Harrison as well. Whitewater Township, I'd say you're seeing some of that heavy rainfall at the moment. And north of Hamilton, we have this little cell here that's impacting areas along 127. So with that happening, again, not seeing anything in terms of lightning, but wouldn't be surprised if we wind up seeing some lightning coming from this little cell right here. It's going to continue to push off to the north and east over the next little while. So rain chances are sticking with us essentially from now until 3 o'clock. Again, any one of these thunderstorms could tap into enough energy that they do become strong, potentially even severe. That's the case right now, just outside of Louisville. So as this line of storms moves through, or this cluster, I should call it, of storms moves through the area, we are watching for that potential. The one thing that this cluster of storms could do for us, though, is zap any sort of energy into this evening with our line of storms that's going to roll through as the actual cold front moves into greater Cincinnati. If that's the case, then it is entirely possible that we are looking at less of a threat of severe weather. However, we still have to move forward from here on out as if we are looking at that potential for these storms to maximize and materialize to their maximum potential. That's going to bring us all modes of severe weather possible to the table. So we're talking the potential for some hail, talking the potential for some strong to damaging winds, and then also that tornado threat still there for the rest of today as well. But again, watching this cluster of storms rolling through, however, it's going to be this little line that's approaching Terre Haute that's going to bring us that potential for some stronger weather here later on this evening. So as we watch this area of thunderstorms moving into greater Cincinnati, kind of making its way east of 65 there, just north of the Louisville metro, we have this stronger thunderstorm here. I'll be keeping a close eye on this one as it moves into greater Cincinnati. I'd say if it can hold together, we're talking about it moving into our northern Kentucky communities, areas right around Carroll County, Gallatin County, along I-71. That's that little strong storm right there. Again, keeping a very close eye on that cell in particular. In addition to that, we have this line of storms. This is the actual cold front that's going to be moving through later on this evening. Tracking it out, if it still maintains the current speed that they're going, which is about 60 or so miles per hour, looks like that's going to arrive into the Cincinnati metro a little bit closer to either 5 or 6 o'clock this evening. So I would say be weather aware from now all the way until the system is finished. It will move through here closer to about sunset tonight, if not a little bit after that. So again, from now until then, we have that potential for strong to severe storms to roll through. This initial cluster does have that potential to bring in some storms with some stronger winds, potentially seeing some storms that produce some hail, as well as that low and tornado threat here with this initial cluster. Once we get past about 3 o'clock, we'll be watching for that secondary area of storms to move through. And that, again, has that potential looking to be a little bit greater, that we see some hail, some strong winds, and then that tornado threat is non-zero as well. As we go through today, we'll be keeping a very close eye on any of these storms to start to spin, because if they do, it's almost imminent that we wind up with a tornado warning in effect. But at the moment, again, everything is still sub-severe. Here we are by about 8 o'clock this evening. As we roll through this time frame, those storms are starting to make their exit out of the metro closer to about 10. We're starting to see things calming down for us at least. So moving through the rest of today, It is a weather alert day. We have that chance of storms that could bring in that severe weather potential. It's looking more likely that we see that severe weather potential materialize later this evening. That's going to be closer to that 4 or 5 o'clock time frame, lasting until about 8 or 9 o'clock tonight. All modes of severe weather on the table for us. Again, anywhere from strong wind to that tornado threat, hail, and then flooding too. I haven't even had a chance to mention the potential for some heavy rainfall coming in with these storms. We had a lot of heavy rainfall earlier this morning. Still a potential for us here as these storms make their way through greater Cincinnati. So as we go through the rest of today, keep an eye out, have ways to receive those warnings, make sure that you have your weather alerts turned on. The WLWT app is a really good resource for that if you allow it to send you notifications to your location. That's something that's going to help kind of keep you safe throughout the rest of today. We'll have another update coming up at 2 o'clock this afternoon. And of course, you can always stay up to date with us here throughout the remainder of the day online, WLWT.com, or through our app.